Now, before I get right into this Jay-Z thing, I just want to touch on this Tupac uh stuff that I was researching, right? So there's this guy Greg Caden that be over there on, with the murder crap. Paul, what up, Paul? Good looking. I'll talk about that on the next segment. All right. Appreciate the super chat. So there's this detective, right, by the name of Brent Baker, right? And I've been listening to some of his interviews from '96, I believe. Yeah, like right after the situation happened with Tupac uh, in September. I've been listening to a lot of his interviews. Now, here's the interesting thing about this, right? One, uh, pork butt and lion gray Caden, you don't hear them talk about uh, Brent Baker, who worked for the Las Vegas Metro Police Department as a detective, right? I believe in the homicide division. Here, Reggie is just a security guard, right? No longer police. Greg Caden doesn't work in Vegas. That's not his jurisdiction. How is he calling himself the Tupac detective and he's LAPD and Tupac got killed in Vegas, right? But they will sit there and spin your heads if you don't know, right? Because they ultimate goal is to protect the crooked police, right? So Brent Baker is the one that interviewed uh Yaki Fula, Gaddafi. He's the one that interviewed Frank Alexander. He the one that interviewed Malcolm, Edie. Um, he interviewed the girls, right? So and he the one that interviewed Suge Knight, right? So this is the guy that you don't hear pork butt and murder crap and them mentioning too much, right? Now let me tell y'all why I brought him up because he is one of the first people that's involved in this investigation, and it's in his jurisdiction. So, and it is his case, right? Compton PD calling up, yo, we know who did it with it. Yeah, y'all are this not even your jurisdiction for y'all to be calling, right? Same thing with when Biggie got killed. When Big got killed, they go to Compton PD. Oh, we got tips, this and that. No, why y'all niggas always involved in something? Why is Compton PD always got tips before a nigga even got the handcuffs on him? Nigga ain't even in the car yet. Here come Compton calling. Yo, we know who did it. Like, y'all know everything, right? So in Brett Baker's findings in his interview, right? In those first interviews, Frank and Edie both said that it was on. They only seen two people in the car, y'all. They first interviews, they said they only seen two people in the car. That's Frank, and that's what you call it, and that's and Edie. Y'all could go look that up yourself. And which call it, and remember Gaddafi said that the person was a fair skinned person, light skinned. He had a sore face, and he told Brent Becker that he might can identify the driver, but he never got a chance to look at the photo book because they never brought him back, and then he got killed. But he's Gaddafi is one of the people that said that he think that the bullets came from the driver's window, not the back window. He said either they shot through the driver's window or they stuck the gun through the back from the back to the front. Frank also in his statement says that it looked like the shots came out the driver's window, right? And then you got the girls. I believe one of them said she believed it was two people in the car, but I don't have the statement in front of me, right? But they did say that they believe that the car had Vegas plates, right? And one of the women said the person that was riding shotgun, she saw him shooting at the car behind him with his left hand out the passenger window, not out the back seat, out the shotgun seat, the front door passenger, right? Now, um, another thing that was interesting in Baker's interview was he said he didn't understand that why Suge took took the route that he took to go to Club 662 when he had a direct route from his house straight to the club. And he said it's like he ain't saying he deliberately, but it's like for him to have a straight route, he's like he don't understand how he did all this extra turning around to run into the bicycle cops. And then he was like, it was said that the people who observed him with the bicycle cops said, they was like laughing and joking, and they were shaking hands, or they shook hands or something. Him and the police, like it wasn't no beef type of thing. And he said they shook hands. People said shook hands with the police, right? So I don't know if Brent Baker feels like it's some funny business on Suge's behalf by him having a straight route to the club and not going that way to go the other way to get pulled over by the bicycle cops and then shaking their hands and ha 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 keying with them. I don't know, but it was giving me that this is suspicious on Suge's behalf, right? And then he also says when where on Flamingo and Koval, where they got shot at the light, he said the hospital was straight ahead on Flamingo. Two major hospitals were straight ahead on Flamingo, and Suge made a U-turn. He's like he don't understand why he did that. Him knowing Vegas. You know, should know in Vegas, he should have known that the hospital was like straight ahead. And he said he made the U-turn. He don't understand why he made the U-turn. And like I said, to me, from what I get from his interview, it sounds like Suge was making a lot of suspect moves in his behind. And then another thing he said in his interview that made me think, got me thinking right now is he's like, uh, when Suge did eventually come back to do an interview with them, he like he came back with three different lawyers, and he was like, if Suge was the victim in the shooting, why would he need a lawyer to to uh to come to a meeting about him being a victim? And he's like, that was another bell that rung off in his head. Technically, it don't make no sense. Why am I bringing a lawyer to talk about me getting shot unless we negotiating a lawsuit or something like that? I wouldn't need no lawyer. But let me pull this image up real quick. So, man, swear not one witness matchup from who opened their door and got Pac out to the hospital, stay, and if he ever spoke again. Well, in Brent Becker's interview, he said once they put Pac in the ambulance, took him out the car, put him in the ambulance, he never regained like consciousness to the point where he talked to anybody again.